You guys, I had a completely different video planned to go out at 5 o'clock today, but I just cannot wait. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office in Florida has dropped the body cam of the Jacksonville Sheriff's deputy shooting the motorist in the leg with his own gun. A compliant motorist stopped for running a red light, allegedly, and the body cam's out. So we're going to watch it, and it's worse than I thought.
Lower your windows, all of them. What's up, my man? Hey, you got a valid driver's license, proof of insurance, all that good stuff? Hey, you blew that red light.
The light was yellow and turned red when I went out there.
It was red when you blew it.
It was yellow.
Okay. Well, I saw it. It was red. So.
I saw it too.
All right. Well, you got a proof of insurance?
Yeah.
Just hang tight. You got a.
Yeah, I'm not with my
You got anything crazy in the car?
Yeah.
What do you got?
A gun.
You got a gun? You do? All right. Where's that? It's on you? Okay. As long as you're cool. And...
Oh, I'm chill. I ain't finna lie to you.
No, man. I appreciate your honesty.
Oh, I ain't got time to lie.
That's awesome. So you have concealed carry and all that good stuff? No, you don't. All right. You're not a convicted felon, right? Nothing.
I do everything, whatever.
Okay.
You do,
all right. So what we're gonna do is, just for my safety, your safety, I'm gonna have you step out. All right. Fair enough. And we're just gonna remove the pistol from you, and then we're gonna run your license, make sure everything's good, and I'm gonna send you on your way.
Get out this way?
Yeah. Just hang tight. Just do me a favor. Lower that window. Hey, he's very compliant. He does have a pistol on him, so we're gonna take him out from that side, remove the pistol, and we'll go from there. All right.
Get out?
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
On my side.
I appreciate it, man, being very honest.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. You okay? Hey.
Put the gun down.
Go down.
You okay?
You got shot in the leg.
Rescue 1068.
HQ 2162. Hey, rescue 1068. 1020.
1020. Walk with me. Go ahead.
That was a knife with a gunshot to his leg.
Okay, guys, so basically, as you can see, the officer comes up. There's already sort of an escalation. It's argumentative. The gentleman is disputing whether or not he ran the red light. He says he did, and the officer says he did. But whenever the gun talk comes out, there seems to be a de-escalation, wisely on the part of the officer, because obviously, you don't want to have a contentious argument with somebody who's got a gun on him, right? It makes sense. So, as I suspected, I wouldn't call this necessarily complete consent. I also wouldn't call it coercion. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised either way if the court said that it wasn't voluntarily given, because the officer didn't really give him an option, but he did say fair enough. So the guy agrees to get out. He gets out, he puts his hands on the car, which is basically what I said I thought happened when they described it initially. You may remember, you may not, there was a press conference that came out with this gentleman and his attorney, and he said that the female was tugging on the gun, and that was right before it went off. And see what happened. So as you can see, you got three different officers' body cams here. So when you look from the second officer, the first officer's cam doesn't really show anything. But when you look from the second officer's perspective, I'm going to slow it down here. You can see Deputy Cardwell sort of struggling to get the gun out. And you can't really see what her grip on the gun is, but you can see that she's attempting to remove the gun with both hands. And she's using one hand inside the pants and one hand outside the pants to try to get the gun out, and then it goes off. Now, pay close attention. I'm going to zoom in here and slow down. As she pulls back, and you can see the surprise on her face that she's just shot the guy in the leg, you can see what appears to be two fingers inside the trigger guard. Now, I used Glocks for 9, 10 years as a police officer. You cannot fire a Glock without pulling the trigger. There's a trigger safety that's dead center of the trigger, unless you have an aftermarket trigger or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there are some modifications you can do to them. But a standard Glock pistol, you can pull on the sides of that trigger with both fingers as hard as you possibly can. If you do not depress the trigger safety, it will not fire. So when the gentleman said that he had a Glock, I pretty much knew that the trigger had to be pulled. But the shocking part will be when we look at Deputy Cardwell's body cam. So I'm going to pull that up now, and you can see. So we slow it down. You can see, now, again, all she would have had to do, he was wearing sweatpants. All she would have had to do was to just pull down on the pants on the outside enough to get the clip out, and there would have been no resistance on the holster. But the problem is, you can tell by the way this deputy approaches taking the gun off of him that she is not a proficient handler of firearms. She does not know how to handle firearms, and that's why we're here, quite frankly. But as she starts to pull up on the pistol, you can see, even though it's going out of frame, that the top of the trigger guard has exposed the trigger. It's no longer secured down into the holster. These holsters are designed to cover the trigger guard so that this type of thing doesn't happen. So you can't see what happens after the trigger guard goes out of frame. But after the gun is fired and after impact, watch as I slow down the footage and we see where Deputy Cardwell's fingers are. You can see her fingernails dead inside the trigger guard with a depressed trigger. And of course, the primary deputy tells her to put the gun down on the ground, and they immediately start rendering aid and calling for emergency squad. But unfortunately, this is exactly what I thought. You have an incompetent police officer who has no idea how to handle firearms, who's allowed to disarm people. Now, again, I think in retrospect, this guy probably wouldn't have disarmed this motorist if he had it to do over again, because obviously, you know, we got problems. And he carries some liability because it was his decision to disarm the guy when there was no reason to disarm him. He disclosed the firearm. He did what he was supposed. He disclosed the firearm. He did what he was supposed to do under Florida law. There was no reason to disarm him in any way whatsoever. And if the cop felt unsafe, it was only because he decided not to de-escalate in the beginning and sit there and argue with the guy over whether or not he ran the red light. Just write the ticket, man. Look, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think it's productive. I saw what I believe I saw. You're saying you saw what you saw. I'm not saying you're lying. You know, I believe what I believe. I'm going to issue the citation and we can deal with it in court. Nothing personal, you know? What I found a little bit trivial is because they ended up writing this guy a citation, even though the deputy told him, I'm going to run your stuff, run your information. If you don't have anything, I'm going to have you on your way. And I think in part that was because he was so cooperative about telling him about the gun and everything de-escalated and all that stuff. Then after they shot him with his own gun, they ended up writing him a ticket anyway. And I think it ultimately got dismissed, but they still wrote him a freaking ticket after the fact, after they shot him with his own gun in something that was completely not his fault. I don't believe this is a Fourth Amendment violation because I would see this as more close to consent than coercion. But again, I don't know how the court would land on it. If the court felt like he didn't really have a choice and that he was coerced into getting out of the car, but he seemed pretty cooperative, and I don't feel like he felt he was coerced. He certainly hasn't made the argument that he was coerced. So I don't think this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I certainly think that there's a constitutional violation with other things, right? So it's not that. It's not that there was a violation of the Fourth Amendment, though, because, again, consent overrides the search and all that stuff. So anyway, I wanted to get this out, guys. I want to get it out for anybody else. I know, and you know, John Bryan freaking released the same video. This drives me crazy because it's almost like we're interested in the same things and we do the same job. But anyway, he released the video yesterday that I was planning to release today. So anyway, you'll have to wait until Thursday for that video because today's video, hopefully I beat these guys to the punch. You saw it here first. I promised an update when the body cam dropped. I apologize if I seem a little gleeful. I'm not happy this guy got shot. I think it's terrible. I think it's tragic, but it's just so dumb and it's so unnecessary. And I have no doubt that they probably had no choice but to release this body cam, probably from a court order, because you know, the lawyer's been saying for a while, we can't get them to do anything. They won't answer us. They won't release the body cam. We don't want to do anything. So, you know, transparency, everybody's safety, all that. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment on the video. Check out some of the other videos on the channel and leave a comment on there as well. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.